guys online. Did I teach you guys online? Probably yes. Did I? Or okay. Yes, I did. So, and I don't know if I had framed my rule at that time, but the rule here is first thing is 75% attendance is mandatory, right? And so how to get your attendance? I cannot, keep tracking your attendance all the time. So what you need to do is, as soon as you come in, send chat message with present, okay? Then second thing is, you cannot come at any time and say, oh, present sir. I do not like that. So that should be within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes of starting of class, huh? Okay. So as if the class is at 4:15, that means by 4:20 you should have your attendance marked. If not, if not, I am not going to count it because it also has some time stamp. Okay, when you send chat message, it has time stamp on it, and therefore that is your. So by if you have class at 4:15, that means by 4:20 p.m. You should have your attendance mark. If it's 3 p.m., then you should have by 3:05 p.m. attendance marked. Okay. So within 5 minutes. Okay. And that is recorded. Okay. And you cannot leave your class. Okay. So I think the rule is clear. Anything else? I think that's it. So this is for attendance, and of course I'll be asking questions anytime, and you must be present if questions are asked. And if you do not respond, then you are assumed to be absent. Okay? ठीक है? So I think this should be very, very clear. Okay. Okay, now what I'm going to talk about is this is shared. Yes. Also shared. So this is going to be your course structure. So what do you have? Petroleum Economics. I'm your instructor. This course is designed to evaluate the economic viability of a project. Economic viability. Probably I'm not, I do not know if you have had economics before. So we'll look at economic viability of a project using cash flow techniques. Okay. Various economic criteria in selecting an investment will be taught. Okay. How to select an investment. You will also learn mathematical techniques to include risk and uncertainty. Very, very important aspect. Okay. How to go about risk and uncertainty in any petroleum project. There will be lab component. Well, this lab component you can do this on your own in software. Software is there is an Excel-based software that is Crystal Ball. It's a Excel, okay. It integrates with Excel, and you can get 30 days trial license for this Crystal Ball, where you can use it for some simulation purposes, and that actually Crystal Ball simulation integrates with Excel, which basically you can also create your own this simulator in Excel if you want to. Okay. So in Crystal Ball software, try that. Not right now, because it will take some time for you to get there about this learning of this technique. And so when when we kind of get there, then you can download the software for 30 days license, and okay, then you can use it. Okay, so we'll have these numerical problems. Okay. So course content, introduction of the course. What is field life cycle? We'll talk about that. But I have kind of touched upon this field life cycle in terms of exploration, production, exploration, appraisal, production, development, and abandonment. And so how that is in from economics point of view, that field life cycle, we'll look at that. So in petroleum project economics, these are typical economics aspects where you use cash flow technique, you use different economic indicators like IRR, NPV. Okay, so NPV, IRR, so net present value, internal rate of return. So you will be learning about these things. These are mathematical formulations. Project screening and ranking criteria based on these NPV and IRR, and many other permutation combination of those things, and then exploration economics. So we'll look at this petroleum project. Production forecasting, you have done already kind of thing in probably in simulation. Okay, so reservoir simulation, when you do, okay, you basically predict what is going to be the production in future, and so that is what production forecasting is about. Then petroleum agreements and biddings, I'm not going to talk about this, but I expect some of you, because see, the thing is, it is going to take a lot of time, all this. So we'll look at this from our Indian point of view. But what I suggest is petroleum agreements and bidding. If some of you or any of you is interested in doing some project work on this or writing some report, you take this opportunity and do this. Okay, petroleum agreements and bidding. Um, then also international petroleum project economics, where type of contracts and effect of various fiscal terms. You can do this. Okay. This we will definitely talk about reserve estimate and classification. There are PRMS guidelines. I'm not sure if you have done that before. PRMS guidelines. Oh, yeah, here you have SP PRMS guidelines. So we'll look at these. Then we'll also talk about risk and uncertainty, different types of risk, how mathematical techniques, how do you rank them, decision criteria, sensitivity analysis, and ethics. We'll talk about these things. Then energy and geopolitics. I suggest that some of you start, doing something on this, so that when we talk, we can discuss. See, these are this topic is very interesting, and the thing is, I want some of you to do some project on this energy geopolitics, how demand and supply, is affecting oil and gas price. And how this different geopolitical situations also affect different international corporations in oil and gas. So I suggest that you do some project. Who would like to do this as a project for energy geopolitics? And especially this is important at this time, because when oil and gas price was low, people were really kind of worried, and I did predict some of the things when I was teaching last time, and that actually came out to be true. So who wants to do this project on energy geopolitics? I expect 2-3 of you to do this project. कौन करेगा? किसको इंटरेस्ट है जियोपॉलिटिक्स में? जियोपॉलिटिक्स में किसी को इंटरेस्ट नहीं है? इतने लोग जो ओएनजीसी में जा रहे हैं, उनको इसमें कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है? हाँ, यही सब टॉपिक तुम लोग को राइज करने में मदद देगा. इफ यू थिंक कि प्योरली टेक्निकल होने से जो है विल राइज, तो ऐसा नहीं होता है. ओके, देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स दैट गोज ऑन. कौन करेगा? ओके, केवल एक. आई वांट फ्यू मोर. और कौन करेगा? लगता है कि और लोगों को इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. ऐसा नहीं है, वो तुम्हारे उसमें जो है ना, वो डेवलपमेंट प्लान में ये जियोपॉलिटिक्स नहीं आता है. ओके, डेवलपमेंट प्लान जो तुम लोग का है वो उसमें नहीं आएगा। तो इफ यू थिंक कि उसमें आ जाएगा, नहीं है, ठीक है। उसमें केवल आएगा कि हाँ कितने वेल ड्रिल करने हैं, कहाँ पर क्या करना है। Geopolitics is altogether it's a very very interesting topic, and looks like no other. Anyways, so what I yeah, look at this energy geopolitics, and I also suggest that you look at some of these books from Daniel Yergin, who is currently at IHS Market, and he talks about a lot of this energy geopolitics, and so I still hope that more of you do this geopolitics and understand it, how this oil and gas prices are determined in the global market. Okay. So yeah, 75% attendance is required, and these are the books that I'm going to be following. Of course, hydrocarbon exploration production. This is quite a classical thing that for every exploration production aspect you can follow this. But for this economics, I'm going to follow this particular second one, Project Economics and Decision Analysis. There are 2 volumes of this book by M. and then also Economic Analysis and Investment Decision by G. Aukuku. So these 2 books in particular, of course, this is there where you can talk about petroleum life cycle and things like that. Okay. Okay, and suggested readings, of course, SP and AP journals, and contact email is this. Okay. So any question, any concern? Those who have come late, let me again show you this particular slide. It should be very, very clear. Okay. That your attendance, 75% attendance is mandatory, and then within 5 minutes you have to mark your attendance. Any question, any concern? How we are going to follow this, this particular coursework? Any question? तुमको तो भाई कभी भी नो करोगे, तुमको तो कोई मतलब है नहीं। हाँ, नो सर, तुरंत तुम्हें तो ऐसे भी नो सर लिखते हो, तुमको तो why wasn't filled asset management not considered? Was it a course this semester? That part I'm not sure. Field asset management, but A lot of aspect of field asset management will be in here, okay? Field asset management. Because economics is, that goes there in field asset management, okay? A lot of aspect will be here, okay? So don't worry about that, okay? So once we start about field life cycle, then you will see, yeah. Okay, so yes, decline curve is used in economic estimate because decline curve analysis will give you idea about your production forecasting, right? Decline curves. Okay, so there are several ways that you can use decline curve. There are several formulations, and that is what you use in simulation, right? Decline curve. How so if you have fractured reservoir, if you have conventional reservoir, how it's going to be, production is going to decline over a period of time. Okay, so that is basically gives you idea about production forecasting, and once you have that production forecasting, then only you can see what is going to be your cash flow. Okay, so it's there in the decline curve analysis. Okay. Any other question? So I'm going to follow this book, as I said, by Mia, that is part one. And in that, what we have is, this economics aspect where this introduction will definitely talk about, what are typical oil company objectives, and what is the role of management in planning it. Planning of capital expenditure will try to understand what is capital expenditure, that is called capex, and what is called operational expenditure, that is opex. Okay, capex and opex will try to understand those things, and so those are part of your cash flow. Okay. Then we'll look at some of these basic principles of economics, where we'll talk about demand, supply, and price equilibrium. And of course, these are, theoretically speaking, you should achieve some equilibrium, but what happens, in real case, how inflation impacts the time value of money. Okay. Then we will uncertainty and risk, although it's here in this book, but we'll cover these things in detail towards the later point of time. Okay. I'm not sure if you have had economics class before. How many of you have had economics before? Not only in RJPT, but before that. before coming to IJPT? Economics. Okay, so seems like except 2, 3 of you, others did not have this economics before. Okay. So okay. So what we'll do is we will quickly go through this, what is called time value of money. Okay. So what is your simple interest? What is compound interest? Although, you probably have done some of these simple mathematics before, uh, before 10 plus 2 or even before 10th, but we'll try to understand it from economics point of view. Okay, I'm sure you have done some of these things, some mathematics. We will try to understand what this nominal and effective interest rates are. We'll look at cash flow diagram. Then we'll talk about this this present value of future sum or future value of present. These are different ways of looking at things. Basically, it's looking at time value of money. Okay. See, the thing is, you are going to spend something in future, and what's its value today? How are you going to estimate some of these things? Okay. Or you are going to earn on your investment at later point of time. So what's its value today? How much you should be investing? What if you are if you defer some of these investments? What happens? Should you be investing now, or should you be investing sometime in future? How should you plan your things? Okay. So time value of money is very important aspect that we'll try to spend some time to understand this. Okay. Loan amortization schedule. So if you take loan, how are you going to amortize it? Okay. So that's loan amortization schedule. Then we'll look at funds flow and compounding, discounting. Well, here this has some spreadsheet applications, but we are, you can make your own. Okay, in Excel, you can do accounting stuff. Okay, so then some before tax cash flow models. You know, see, taxes are kind of a fixed thing by the government. Okay, so we are not going to discuss those things. Basically, what we are going to discuss is before tax cash flow. Okay, and we'll to do that, as I said before, you need to have your production forecast, how it's going to, how your field is going to produce in future. And, so for that, you have some volumetric calculations. So there are some deterministic approach and probabilistic approach, okay? And decline curve analysis, as somebody mentioned right now, whether I'm going to talk about it, yes. Whether you should use exponential decline or hyperbolic decline or harmonic decline. What about tight gas reservoirs? So all these, okay. Because once you have production forecast, then only you can do this. Okay. Now, product pricing is another very tricky subject, but for any cash flow model, okay, you need to have some product pricing. Well, even if it's in the future, and even if the even if the prices are quite variable, okay, but still you whenever you are going to plan your project, you need to have some number for your product. Okay, so pricing is important. Okay. We'll talk about these different types of expenditures, capital expenditure and operational expenditure, CapEx and OpEx, and what they include, and different types of these cost estimates. So these things we'll talk about it. Then you have transfer pricing. Well, those things, I may not be talking those things in this class. Then after tax flow is, after tax cash flow is, looking at depreciation, where you try to understand what is tangible and intangible properties, and how you recover, what you have spent. Yeah, what you have spent, how do you recover it? And then amortization and depletion, where what actually it means. Then you have some intangible drilling costs. The international petroleum economics, as I said, I may not be used. We'll see. We'll see if I want to talk about this international petroleum economics, where production sharing contracts, those things, you should do some project, okay, production sharing contracts for different countries. Why people want to invest somewhere more than the other, okay? And then you have capital budgeting techniques, where, we'll talk about this NPV, IRR, and then profitability index, So these things we'll talk, yeah? Okay. Any question how we are going to proceed throughout this semester? Any concern? Only one person has okay. Name of the book? Project? Yeah. Project Economics and Decision Analysis. Number 2. It has 2 volumes. I'll be using volume 1. Okay, the question is about weightage distribution. Well, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. In the last semester, you saw what happened. And so let us see. And most likely, whatever the last semester was, that is going to be the case. Okay. If we have mid-semester, so mid-semester, kitna tha? 10%. I think that is what it was. And then you had some quizzes and home assignments and things like that. So I guess that is what it's going to be, whatever it was in the last semester. Any other question? No? No question? Okay. Then okay, so let me talk about this. Okay, profit planning. See, whenever you are investing in any project, okay, in any project, you in the end, what you want is you should be able to make some profit out of it, right? And so the term profit planning is broadly defined as a systematic and formalized approach for accomplishing the planning, coordination, and control responsibilities of management. Okay, how you are going to invest that money? Okay, so you have to plan ahead. Okay, coordinate between different agencies. Okay, and of course control responsibilities. By making a continuing stream of well-conceived decisions, management can plan and control a long-range destiny of the enterprise. So, see, right now I am just going through this particular paragraph of this, in this chapter, but we will have some more PowerPoint slides with bullet points as we proceed. Okay, so so today only for next 10 15 minutes I'll be using this one. Okay. So you have two things. One is long-term plan, and another is short-term plan. Okay, whether it's any business, or even if you're in your own life. Okay, what you do is you have these two different types of plans. Okay, you think about long terms, and also you think about short term, right? So and so typically when you think about long term, typically you think in terms of 5 years or more. Okay, and if you are thinking about some short term, probably you are thinking about a year. Of course, in your case, so when you are thinking about short term, probably you are thinking about a semester, probably. Um, so here it says the concept speaks to planned prosperity as opposed to unplanned happenstance. Okay, so many people actually, many people come under this unplanned happenstance. Okay, ठीक है जो होगा होगा. But many people, what they do is they plan it. Okay, many people plan it. Plan prosperity as opposed to unplanned happenstance. Thus, the essence of profit planning concept is management's decision-making process. For long-term success of an enterprise, a stream of these decisions must generate plans and actions. You must have some plans and you must have some actions associated with it. These will then provide the essential cash outflows required to support and planned cash inflows. How you are going to have inflows and how it's going to have outflows, okay, of the enterprise. This is necessary to ensure the organization earns realistic profits and return on investment. You cannot have like unrealistic goals. Okay, so if you plan it, you will see it. Yes, and return on investment. Whatever you invest, now how much return you should expect. So these are your long-term objectives. So long-term planning projects specified objectives and goals of an enterprise beyond the short term. Okay? Today's actions are influenced by increased consciousness of tomorrow's expected events. Okay? Therefore, management concentrates on those events that can produce the best and the largest economic results. Of course, that should be the case. Okay. I hope it's clear. If it's not, then you ask me. Okay. Or see, this class is better managed when we discuss these things in the in classroom. Okay. अभी जो है, it seems like one-way teaching, which is not very effective. Particularly teaching such aspects. Okay. For other mathematical aspects, that's fine, but these things come through discussion. This is an important key to the success of the business. Peter Drucker defines this, the continuous process of making present entrepreneurial decisions systematically and with the greatest knowledge of their futurity. Organizing systematically the efforts needed to carry out these decisions and measuring the results of these decisions against the expectation through organizing. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yes, and here it's strategic planning. Okay, what is this strategic planning? That means you have long-term plan. Okay, so that is what a strategic plan. Yes, objective should be more than statements of good intentions. They should be specific strategic goals. Very, very important aspect. Okay. Okay. So what is your as an oil company? What are going to be your objectives? So objectives क्या हो सकते हैं? Add to the reserve inventory. This is very important aspect. Whatever reserve inventory you have, okay, whatever it is, you just cannot sit there and you say that, oh, I'm going to produce whatever it is. Okay. You have to show to the share market that you are adding reserves. Okay. बहुत ही important है. Unless and until you show that you are adding, people won't see you as growing. Okay. Oil companies' growth only comes from addition of reserve. Let's say today you have 4 billion barrels of oil, and if tomorrow again it stays, or a year later, okay, in next financial year, when you show your report and you say that, yeah, still I am 4 billion barrels oil, that means you have not grown. Okay. If you show, that if it's 3.8 billion barrels, less than what you were last time, so what is going to happen? Your value will reduce immediately. Your value will reduce in the market. Okay, when you show that your worth is less than what you were yesterday. Okay? So companies always want to add to the reserves inventory through exploration efforts or purchase. So if you cannot do on your own through exploration, what do? Then you purchase of reserves in the most cost-efficient manner. That means that is when you see that there is a lot of what you call merger and acquisition going on. Okay, you must have heard in oil and gas industry there's a lot of merger and acquisition. And why does that happen? Simply because you want to grow. Okay, either you grow from your own exploration effort by addition of reserves, or if you cannot do that, then you purchase or acquire or merge with somebody else, and then you show that you have grown, okay, that you have added reserves to your inventory. Okay, so that is the main thing which behind this merger and acquisition. Okay? If company can grow on its own, and it's fine, they can add reserve by going, from one country to another, adding, doing some more and more exploration effort and adding reserves. Okay. Then you have the second one is maximize ultimate oil and gas recovery from the reserves inventory through research efforts, studies, and the use of sound reservoir development and production practices. Maximize ultimate oil and gas recovery. Okay. So you have to also show that your oil and gas recovery is high. Okay. Maintain sustained optimum production levels in line with the sound reservoir management principle. This is another very important aspect. Okay. Let's say you are producing today 10,000 barrels of oil, and tomorrow if it reduces 8,000 barrels, and again it increases 12,000. So if it fluctuates a lot more, then you are people are not going to have a very high confidence in you. Okay, if you show that yes, I will be producing 10,000 barrels of oil, okay, every day, then of course those refiners who want some oil and gas from you, okay, then they will have good confidence that yes, I can get 10,000 barrels of oil per day from that company. Okay. If that company cannot maintain that, of course, the refiner who is your customer, okay, will not have a very good confidence in you, and probably will seek oil and gas from other sources. Okay, and therefore this is yet another objective of an oil and gas company to maintain sustained optimum production. Okay. Then you have to ensure a reliability of fuel and feedstock supply to industry. Okay, how much reliable that is. Okay, and feedstock supplies. Okay, because again, oil and gas. If today you say that okay, I can supply this much, and other day you say no, I cannot supply that much. So that you earn a bad name. Okay. With this, let me give you one example. When Reliance had found this KGD6, and they said, they are going to produce 14 TCF of gas. So what happened? When they said that they are going to produce 14 TCF of gas. So other companies, other industry who depend upon gas, they thought, well, we are going to get the sustained production from Reliance, and so we can build our own business, which is based on gas. And so, therefore, what you saw is a lot of gas-powered, gas-based power plants came in India, and then they found in next several years that they cannot supply that much of gas. Okay, so that was a very bad thing that happened for other industry, right? That you said, well, we can produce this much, and then after some time you are not able to. Okay. So it is very, very important that you have to ensure reliability of fuel and feedstock supply to industry. Okay. Sustain the highest degree of reliability and availability of production facilities. Okay. See, the thing is, wherever you are producing from, okay, it has to be very, very reliable. You build a platform with $1 billion of investment, and so of course, it needs to be reliable so that people get confidence in you. Conduct all operations in the most efficient, cost-effective, safe, and environmentally acceptable manner. So, and return on investment and total worth of the company. So these are, it summarizes typical objectives of an oil and gas company. In fact, if you kind of understand these, these different bullet points, what you also understand is, well, this is the kind of all the industries should have their, these typical objectives. Okay. Okay. So I think with this, I stop here. And does anybody have any question? Raise your hand, and then I will unmute you and discuss it. Nikhil?
Yes, sir.
सब कुछ समझ में आ गया?
Yes, sir. समझ आ गया, सर.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है?
नहीं सर, अभी तक तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
Okay. Okay. सोमेदीप?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, सब कुछ समझ में आ गया?
हाँ सर.
हाँ, अब तो समझ में आएगा. ठीक है. So all right. So I stop here, and then we'll again see you tomorrow. Bye.